Greetings. I'm Diana or Lighthawk. I perform both quantum and angelic healing, and I have a wonderful connection with our sun, which is what I wanted to touch on today. Now, I did a previous video related to Solaris and the sun, but today, of course, it's a very good weather, sunny day, and we're able to do this outside. So we're very blessed for today. So from the large rising gold-orange orb in the early morning, to the gentle sunbeams on our faces, to the fertile fields of sun-kissed sunflowers, to the sun-drenched bikini-clad beaches, to the hot, scorching deserts. The sun constitutes an important part in our lives. It is the sustainer of life on planet Earth and part determiner of the seasons. Always there, strong, vibrant, but often taken for granted by many, perhaps in this modern age. It no longer pervades our waking life, though, not like in the ancient past and eons ago. In the ancient times, solar cults were all over the earth. Not surprising, for it is the greatest symbol of the divine. It was considered the eye of God in its brilliance. In the beginning, it was a force in the earth's atmosphere to help establish man. From there, our civilizations have been propelled in many ways. Early man was more connected with the elements, but even now, the sun does have an effect on our consciousness. Ancient texts and philosophies reveal that stars, which our sun is a star, which is often forgotten, are really spiritual beings in other dimensions. We are literally made from Solaris, the sun, and stardust. It has the never-ending presence of God, strong, ever-giving, outreaching, and it represents the Creator, not being separate from creation, but permeating all. Also, the sun is often linked to the Christ Spirit with grace and loving and enduring energies. In addition, the solar angels definitely had a part in the Earth's and humanity's development. The ancient Egyptians, for example, used the solar disk image in many of their artwork and panels. Ra was known as the sun god, with a head of a falcon and a body of a man, driving away darkness while riding his sunboat. Amun-Ra, the cult of Ra, grew in its sun worshipping. Ra was worshipped in Heliopolis. Pyramids were covered by limestone, which would have given a shiny, bright effect. The Ben on top of the pyramid symbolizes rays of the sun. The obelisk is closely related to the sun worship. There are obelisks in all major cities of the world, even today. Other early civilizations that worshipped or reverenced the sun were Atlantis, Hyperborea, Mesopotamia, the Greeks, the Celts, the Vikings, the South American empires and the Native American tribes of North America and South America, such as the Anasazi, Hopi, Zuni, and the Mound Builders. Those that venerated the sun built ancient structures such as Stonehenge, New Grange, Angkor Wat, Machu Picchu, and Chaco Canyon. Farming communities relied on the seasons of the sun and times of the day for planting and harvesting. There was also an ancient sun god named Tammuz. In fact, there were 37 major sun gods around the world. The early Romans worshipped the sun god Mithra before Christianity came into play. When the Roman Catholic Church was established, they really mixed Mithraism, Judaism, and the earlier form of Christianity. They carried the solar symbols into both the early church and later into their architecture in churches, statues, and ornaments. We started to lose sense of the sun as the communities became more mechanized and modern. However, we still worship the sun in different ways, such as to get our glorious youth-looking tans. Also, solar and lunar eclipses have become a spectacle, along with the equinoxes and solstices, and still celebrated by certain earth-loving groups. We can all once again be more intimate with our sun. We can awake just 20 minutes or so earlier and do a meditation, especially with certain kinds of breathing. We can visualize expanding our chakra in the heart center out until it immerses with the sun. Then you can intend on its strong energies to transform any leftover emotions or any off energies. It can help to strengthen this inner spiritual sun, which in turn can help to transform our lower self. It can bring more prana to us to help to heal our chakras and energy patterns. And with this amazing awakening, you will want more and more. Sun gazing is a way to also connect more with the sun. You can usually feel a shift when doing this. Now, during sunrise and sunset times are the safe hours, of course. You never want to look directly into the sun or at it, but looking just below it. And also, if you're out and about on a real sunny day, you want to have some protection, such as sunglasses with the bright sun. From continued early morning meditation and expanding my inner sun out, I have strongly connected with it. The solar angels are such a great source of transformational energy. They have both cosmic and practical messages. I have connected with a solar being especially, and she relates information mostly on earth changes. She is a beautiful beaming being with green, yellow, shimmering orange attire and fiery red-orange hair, as you can imagine. If you would like more info from me on this, check out my Galactic Priestess website, mountainspirit-healing.com, or for healing modalities, mountainspirithealing.org. And now, I would like to read one of the shorter messages that really stood out for me from her that I received at the end of last year. And then we will go into a meditation. The sun, Solaris, is in its quintessent phase. The solar beings and lords are completing their added stabilization and geometric energy patterns to help stabilize the Earth. There will still be, especially in the next 2 years, periods of small and large shakes and also inundations. Unfortunately, more and more groups of people will get together, though, and in stronger and more cohesive spiritual communities, and rely more on building and contributing to cities of light and or transcendence in their everyday life. Some will just center on peace and elevated art and culture. More and more different varieties of plants and foods will be developed, but naturally. Unfortunately, the extinction and global problem will continue, but also go on in ways, and some species of flora and fauna will be saved, though, in living libraries. There will be more and more schism, though, between those who would like to live in technology and those who are choosing a natural, simple lifestyle. The natural groups will be getting in touch more from small power places where there are like vortexes and earth chakras, and also doing excursions to these places. The political and splitting of fractions, though, will come to a head even more, and more mediated leaders will arise. They will give thought to forming groups for human development, and finally more natural energy. The shadow governments type groups will even try to filter in on these developments, but energy never lies, and in the near future these groups will completely fracture. So now I'm going to do a meditation really concentrating on Solaris. So we begin that now, and of course when it's best to wake up early in the morning if you can. The energies are just better. The energies that are penetrating the atmosphere and the earth. Like around 4:30 is the best, 5:30, but just early if you can, even if you can wake up 20 minutes earlier to get a good meditation in. And I like to do that every day, but also several times a week to really connect with the sun in doing this. So usually I'm facing my large window if I'm inside or outside on the deck and facing the sun. And today it's going to be behind us. But we're still going to visualize rising, expanding our energy center and our consciousness out and merging with the sun. So you want to take a few deep breaths, like for every meditation, have comfortable clothing on, and be in a comfortable chair or spot. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And as I'm doing that, of course, I'm sending my grounding cord down into the earth or the ground, which if you're at home, it would be into the floor, into the basement and into the ground. So we're sending this down into the ground, and it's spinning, and I usually visualize like a goldish brown, bronzish cord, and moving down and going deep within the soil, the bedrock. We might even come across some crystal enclaves or some caves. And I'm seeing a very large caves with lots of different crystals. Very beautiful. And it feels great. You know, we could stay here longer, but we are going to keep on sending the cord, their grounding cord, down to the very core and center of the earth. If it happens to come up momentarily, which sometimes happens, especially if someone, you know, still has a lot of thoughts or had some heavy trauma in their life, but you just keep on gently pushing it down. And it's moving all the way to the center. And it's going into the core. And we're seeing a sign with our name on it. And that sign has some crystals around our name. So it is solidified into the earth. For we have a right to be here. To do what we need to do on this sphere. So now we are seeing, I'm seeing some emerald light coming up from Gaia. And it's so strong. It's not only strong, but it's soothing. And it's good to connect with her. And it's rising up and rising up, and now I'm also seeing strong energy columns in different areas, you know, one in front, to each side, on right to the side, and even in back, which is very dynamic. And these are actually positive. So now the emerald light is rising up, and it's rising up through the earth, back into our coccyx, and into our core and our body. And meanwhile, a very bright golden diamond light is coming down, and it's coming down through our crown chakra. It's coming down from the source. So we have the source, the all one source, the greater central sun, the great central sun, and then also our sun. And then we're bringing that energy down through our crown and into our energy system. And the two meet. And it's forming a strong bond. And meanwhile, we have our heart chakra, which is also our inner sun. And that is moving to the right, rotating, and it's expanding out. And it's full of gold, like rosy light. And that light is expanding out, and it's getting larger and larger. And it's all the energies are combining. And we're expanding out even more. And again, you don't want to stop the energies. You just want to let it go. Just let it expand out. And just all the way out through the area, the atmosphere. And up through the atmosphere, off the earth, all the way up. And we already see this sunbeams coming down. They're not only strong, but they're nurturing, and they're shaped like this. So it's like they're healing too. And so they're coming down on all different directions. And they're even going, not only surrounding myself and us, but into the earth. And a lot of joy too, and happiness, and now we're fully immersing into Solaris. How does it feel? What do you sense? Feel that strengthening and vibrancy. And there's a lot of spirals too, large spirals, small spirals, and we're immersing all with that. And I see the solar beings too. There's one on each side. So we're immersing in all this. And what message do they have for you? It could be a personal message, or it could be more revelatory. And now I see a beautiful solar angel, angelic being. And now she is expanding and getting larger and filling the space. And we're going to sit with this for a while. Just feel all the peace and the love and highly transcendent light. And now before we leave, we're going to leave the meditation. We're going to absorb these energies into our sun, our consciousness. And we're going to absorb it in and envision it coming into our consciousness being, especially the heart center. And then to solar plex, of course. Feel your solar plex not only getting stronger and protected, but just expanding out. Now it's optimal to even do this longer, but now we're going to head back. We're going to thank the solar beings and the angelic. We are so blessed to experience this today, and we're so grateful. So now we're pulling the energies back from the sun into the atmosphere. We're still cradled by those sunbeams. We're now moving it back to again through the atmosphere to the earth and to your area, this area, and directly align with your body. And then bringing the energies in even more, your consciousness. And now we are back, and we are still, of course, firmly rooted into the earth. So again, we are so grateful, I'm grateful, and we want to thank the divine presence today. And remember, just remember this any messages, the transformation. And also, throughout the week, you can practice this for a longer period of time. And again, thank you and namaste.